sorry, I can't help. I'm a lone wolf. It goes against my code. I can't help the burning orphanage or the needy children. Can't save the village either. It goes against my code. Can't help. I can't help anyone because I'm a lone wolf. I have a code for being a lone wolf.
Then why are you traveling with 5 other people? In a collaborative effort. I'm very confused right now. Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome to Hot Girl Crit. I am one of your hosts, Carice.
Hi, I'm the other person in the room, Jesus. How's it going?
A fellow host. Co-host. We co-host. This is a collaborative. Like D&D, it's a collaborative effort.
What? Great transition.
There is no one main character.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Are you positive?
I'm 100% positive there is no main character.
And that's what we're gonna discuss. What's a good and bad character?
Ayo!
We're gonna discuss good characters versus bad characters. I've actually had this question a lot. We do panels at conventions, and that is the number one question. How do I make a good character? Or people send me copies of the character. She's like, did I make a good character? And the number one answer, to be quite honest, is, are you having fun? Are you collaborating with your fellow players? Then yeah, you made a good character. But we'll get into details on
We're gonna break it down a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to tell just from a character sheet
Yes.
if it's a good character or a bad character, because a lot of the time it's how the player chooses to engage with the world around them.
Yeah, because honestly, the game of Dungeons and Dragons, it's the character sheets. I think like probably 1/3, maybe less, 1/4 of what you're gonna do in the game, because a lot of it's just the RP and the interaction with your friends and stuff. So we're gonna get into those things. How you build your character is never really wrong. The numbers are there. If you wanna check your stats and your numbers, use a auto calculator. But we're gonna discuss the other stuff.
Yes.
So, all right, let's get into it. What makes a good character? Let's get into the good one, because that's I think kind of the easy one. Good characters are engaging. Good characters are cooperative. They want to go wherever the dungeon master is telling the story to go. They help the players. They share their goal. I'm not saying you're a goody-goody two-shoes. What I'm saying is that you are helping move the story forward, and you're not preventing someone else from telling their story. That's a good character. You're engaging, you're listening, you're participating, you're active in this cooperative storytelling thing. In a big nutshell, that is what makes a good character.
I'd have to agree with that. I do think another important thing is when you're playing a character, right now we're doing this through the lens of a heavy roleplay game.
Yeah.
That is how we are going to be approaching this, so that's how I'm going to discuss it.
Yeah.
Is a good balance between your character's strengths and your character's weaknesses as well. Because if you do not have any flaws or weaknesses, it is easy for you as a player to go into main character syndrome, and then you do take away from other people's stories, other people's characters.
Yeah.
And it does actually disrupt the harmony of the party.
Yeah. Sharing the spotlight's very, very important. Just in case if there are things you do, tools, like we have like a raise your hand, and if multiple people raise your hand, use your finger, just to help share the spotlight around. But help if you're a dungeon master. Also, just if someone's not speaking as much, like, hey archer, hey barbarian, what do you do in this situation? Just share the spotlight. But also a good character would be also in that situation if the dungeon master isn't really like reaching out to the player who's not really been speaking for the past hour. Be like, hey, I just caught a fish, or we just hunted this deer. Do you want to help me insert thing that helps with the deer process? or the fish.
With the deer process.
I'm a vegetarian, so I don't fuck with that.
I think what you're trying to say is a good character is while you've already established your party, is going to pull from other characters and include them in the story.
Always pull out.
It depends. But
Yes, always pull out what
the strengths from
each-
other
yes,
characters
yes.
as well.
Of course.
As I said earlier, it is a collaborative thing. You don't want to,
Yeah.
I'm going to keep saying this, you don't want to go into main character syndrome.
Yeah, for sure. And shortly on the opposite end of that, what makes a bad character is literally the opposite of that. The person who doesn't cooperate, the person who is not engaged in the story, and who puts out roadblocks to not help the story move forward.
Do you have an example of that? While you're not drinking?
Oh, do I have an example of that? If you write in your backstory that you have a rival in your guild, and then the dungeon master presents that rival in guild, and then you're like, hey, set rivals in front of you, what do? Nothing. Okay. This is, your entire backstory was based on this individual. They're in front of you in the middle of a conflict, what do you want to do? Absolutely nothing. Okay, do you want to... Is it for any reasons? No. Do you want to give me a motivation? No. You're not giving me anything. No. Okay, that's a bad character. We're not participating. We're not moving the story forward. It's like, hey, are you having a bad day? Or did you just not want to roleplay? It's like, no, it's just I don't care about them. Then why did you write a backstory about them? Oh, you told me to write a backstory. So you're just here to roll numbers.
Yeah.
And me to tell you a story.
Yeah.
That's that's not helping the story move forward. And now we have a different establishment, a different relationship between that player and the dungeon master. But I would say that was a bad character. Like,
yeah.
Your character needs to move the story forward.
Like they made a character that didn't care, basically.
Yes. Yeah. If your character, I think the classic bad character to some people would be like, oh, I steal the gold and I'm not sharing. And like I would also start tiptoeing to like that is not kosher most of the time, but that does have a way to shine, and that could be a good character because you have opportunities to move forward and grow, and that's not a bad character. Also, like, guys, I know I took 50 gold right off the bat. We're having a learning curve with so and so. That I think you are establishing it. It's not a bad character. It's a role play story.
It's a flaw.
It's a flaw.
It's a flaw in your character,
yes.
and I do think that goes into I was gonna say about building a good. Are we still a bad character right now?
No, we can.
Okay.
We're looking at that.
We're gonna go in a little bit on
Yeah.
it, but
Yeah.
I do think what you said about the character taking the gold and not sharing it with the party, that is a personality trait that they have.
Yeah.
And when it comes to building a good character, in my opinion, I do think that you don't want to have a completely gimmicky character, but I do think actually having a gimmick to your character does help you build a very dynamic character. Yes, it's a gimmick, but it establishes who your character is at the beginning, and it establishes something that you can associate with said character.
Yeah, for
Does
sure.
that make sense?
Yeah. I do like the roleplay tip of the, I forget what it's called, but it's like the Seven Dwarves roleplay tip where like you focus on like sleepy, anger, dope, whatever, like one emotion, and then like that's your base, and then from that you can move on.
Yes,
right?
then you build from that.
Yeah.
Gimmicks are actually great in D&D. You don't want it to be your entire character and your character not to grow at all, but that establishes immediately who your character is and what they are in the party.
Yeah, like Barkley, our druid, the gimmick it was I am a cute puppy. Like I am just a puggo who likes trees, but that she has evolved into this very passive, wise druid who is so caring and is helping these people out and like yes.
If we saw Ash's rear end, is that a radiant moon? Radiant celestial moon.
Oh my god.
It's really cool to see the growth of this character that just started out with like, I just want a stick. You give me a stick and I'll go do this mission for you, or give me a nice treat. Like it's a cool like evolution of that character.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying this because you mentioned the money, but I like the current character I'm playing is like that, to where they have sticky fingers, and that was like their gimmick, is that she's always stealing. That's one of her flaws, to where she's always stealing. And she's also a cheapskate and doesn't like to spend her own money and always takes her own portion of the gold. But there is, if you're playing a character like that, there is a way to have character development.
Yeah.
Such as in like our latest session, to where she was actually spending her own money to help with certain things. You know, but still playing into that like being upset the entire time you're doing it.
I did love how you did it, because you also like, I'm going to give my portion of the money to these people to start a new life, but because it's a new thing for my character, I'm going to kind of roll a sleight of hand to make sure no one sees what I'm doing. And like, everybody at the table heard it, but no players saw it. You know, a little bit of the meta knowledge, but it's that character growth, and that's fucking beautiful.
Thank you. But gimmicks aren't bad. People like to ask, some people, and I've seen on Reddit, they complain, they're like, it makes your character two-dimensional. It's okay to have a gimmick.
Yeah, I think
I encourage them
to
build a strong character.
I think having that balance between those flaws and those strengths. I also hear a lot of people say like, I have a -2 my strength, or like, I think a good character, maybe I would even be as bold as like good players would be like, those negatives aren't flaws.
They're not.
And flaw is also has a negative connotation to it, because like, you're taking that flaw that your character had and making it into a roleplay moment. And I think like having that negative in strength is a roleplay moment. This is just who your character is. Like, I personally, like, I have allergies to insert a plethora of things, and like, for example, I could have a negative to constitution because of said allergies. And that's not necessarily like a flaw, right? Like my character sucks. Like, that's not the approach I should go to it. It should just be like, this is just something new to my character. That negative in strength, like, oh, I can't pick up this boulder, make it into a funny scene, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just, I think finding the positivity in those like negatives, like, that makes it a good character as well.
I do agree with that, except don't ever dump your con. But that should never be your dumpster.
100% don't do that. As a person whose first character in 3.5 was a gnome who had pluses to con, came out with a negative score, and my dungeon master never explained that to me. Thanks, C-Ram.
Don't dump your con.
Yeah.
Dump your int or your charisma like me.
If you're not a bard, you don't need charisma.
Exactly.
Yeah, so like being open and change, finding ways to make the negatives a positive, being engaged in the story, uplifting others, participating in the story that your dungeon master is having, not just focusing on like, when is my turn? When is it my turn to shine? Sharing the spotlight, all these make a positive contributor, make a great character, and will make you a great player. So, well, what's up?
No, I was just agreeing with you.
Okay. I thought we had one more point.
No. I was agreeing with you there.
Now into like, we're gonna insert lighting. Because I did the sound effects, so when I'm editing, I can actually do it. And if I don't, I'm calling myself out again.
Okay.
This is gonna be a common thing, or I have to tell myself in the video to do it, because if I don't, I'm gonna look like a dick.
It's okay, I understand.
We're gonna get into what makes a bad character.
Dun.
I'll let you drink your water now.
Okay. There we go.
Okay. It says hydro flask. Okay.
No, it's not a Stanley. It's a hydro flask. It's much better quality, and the straw isn't hard. It's a flaccid straw. It moves. That's why I like it. To where I don't have to like do this, and I don't have to do that. I just.
I'm so glad you found your thing. So, bad characters. Do you have a bad character in mind?
Huh. Do I ever? So, we're going bad. By bad character, I think we're covering more so role play and not building your character.
Yeah, I think
because a lot of people, sometimes people have great role play, then they feel severely underpowered. And I looked at their sheet and I'm like, who the heck made this sheet?
Yeah, I think building a bad character sheet would be like, if you're a strength-based character, don't focus on dexterity. That would be, or like, I didn't know these spells existed, so I could have maximized those spells. And for that, we would need a completely different video. And for that, I think those are the mid-maxers. And those are for forums that is just like, here's a list, pick these options, and these options are maximize your stuff.
Basically.
But for the role play.
Bad characters. Role play edition. Okay.
Role play edition.
So, we'll start with, here's a good one. Disruptive behavior. Jesus, what does that look like? Disruptive behavior. Character disruptive behavior and not player disruptive behavior. Player disruptive behavior is easy. It's just you being a dick in the middle of an important scene or something. But
it's you.
But character.
A character disruptive behavior is you inserting yourself into a scene that you shouldn't be in. You not wanting to be there. Like, I feel like I think going back to that one scene, because that's the one that's prominent in my head right now. Your whole backstory was about this person who wronged you, and you were afraid of them and you wanted to get vengeance on them. They're in front of you. You have the opportunity to do something, and you didn't want to walk away. You didn't want to fight. You just wanted to nothing the scene. That's the bad. But a destructive behavior would be something along the lines of like, I'm going to burn down the church.
And hiding behind, but that's what my character would do.
Yeah, I'm going.
Why did you make a character like that then? You know?
Why make an evil character? Like this shopkeep is not going to give me a discount or a free magic item. I'm going to kill them. That's disruptive behavior. This guard is not giving me the information I want. I'm going to murder, or I'm going to insert violence and or dominance over the NPCs because they're not real people. That's disruptive behavior. I'm going to take from my players, my party members. I'm going to fight my party members. That's disruptive behavior. Anything antagonistic, anything that's like just being a douche.
The first part where you're talking about violence against NPCs, you sounded like the people I DM for in one of my home games.
Do they burn down a church?
They probably would if I gave them the chance.
Oh my god.
But
like, violence is not always the answer.
Don't worry, they'll learn. Trust me, they'll learn. But that's beyond the point. Consequences, bounties exist, but that's beyond the point. But I do like what you said earlier about inserting yourself into scenes that your character should not be in, and then being like, but my character is really nosy and blah blah blah. Your character is not two-dimensional. Yeah. Your character, yes, maybe your character does say things like laughs at really serious times when they're not supposed to. They're not a two-dimensional thing. If you want to play a good character, they have to have layers. They have to have some common sense. They don't have to have a lot. They can still be stupid or a dumbass or however you want to play them.
It's silly.
You don't want to limit your character into a box like, oh, character did this. No, so I'm sorry, NPC did this. My character's flaw is that they laugh when people die. They're going to laugh right now at my fellow party member's mother's funeral. Yeah. You know, that you've put your character into a box. Where it's not giving them the proper empathy to not laugh during the funeral, even though it is their flaw that they laugh at death. Yeah. You know?
Disruptive behavior. Also, the person that is intentionally flirting with the person IRL, having to roll dice to see if I'm attracted to somebody, just don't.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be a hard no right there.
Be a hard no, dog. like those are incredibly just like big no's. When your actions that you're hiding behind the thin veil, that's what my character would do. When it's just you just being gross in the game or trying to get a rouse out of someone, like that's disruptive. Like that's you being a bad role player, a bad character, a bad person.
Player.
Yeah.
Bad overall.
Yeah,
just at the table.
Bad vibes. Bad person.
Bad vibes.
But yeah, conflict with the party. Some pitfalls to avoid. The edgelord.
The lone wolf in a party full of like 6 other people.
Yeah. Look. I listen to Cannibal Corpse, to Infinite Annihilator. I listen to Mayhem. I fuck with Orgotha. I know what an edgelord is. Your character is not an edgelord. Okay, so tone it down. Put down the Marilyn Manson CD. It's gonna be okay. Like, just get some help. It's.
Stop it. Get some help. McDonald's wants you to give yourself a chance.
You're not a lone wolf. We're here pretending to be elves and dwarves. Like, it's gonna be okay. Like you're here in a collaborative storyteller. Your rogue warlock combo drow is not the hardest, toughest, saddest backstory we've read. There's try being a single mother. That character can fucking out edgelord you any day of the week.
But Jesus, why is a lone wolf character bad though?
So the lone wolf character bad because they don't want to cooperate. That's why lone wolf character bad. Lone wolf character bad because I am by myself. I don't need the party. When people see lone wolf characters, they watch a movie and they think I'm Wolverine. And here's the thing. Those movies, Wolverine's arc is him learning about family. It's that Western. And in the Western, you're either the animal who cannot be in society, so you're outcasted, or you're the animal who gets killed because you're too wild. We can have roleplay sessions where I'm a druid, I'm the barbarian, I'm the whatever, and I can't be contained by this. And I'm only joining the party for a common goal to defeat insert BBG. And then when we're done, we're splitting ways. But you're still cooperating with the story. I'm only here because we have an end goal. But we're still moving forward. If you're not even attempting to move forward, you're not cooperating with the storytelling game. And you can go back to session 0, and if you're like, hey, I'm only here because like I like rolling dice and I like listening to you guys, and like this is a way for me to vibe with y'all, but like I'm not into the roleplay stuff. And if that's what you guys agree with, then that's what you guys agree with. But we come from the area of like, this is what you want. You want a good cooperative storytelling game. Maybe you want to do your own podcast. Maybe you want to kick it up to the next level. But the camera, the 4 gig rule. So, back, lone wolf. Cooperate.
I'm gonna cooperate, and I don't recommend. I do think you can play a lone wolf character and it work within the party.
Yes.
If you are not an experienced role player, though, I just don't recommend it. It's very difficult to do. As someone who is currently doing that in our streamed game, it is actually very difficult to not take away from scenes and to not disrupt the party. You have to be very mindful, and it's more of an advanced. It's an advanced character, in my opinion.
And I think almost every single campaign that I have done that has been streamed, we have had. We have had a lone wolf character, but they all in one way have opened up, are cooperative, and are exploring themselves. Or that it gets to a point where the player says, my character can no longer go forward with this party. Can I bring in someone else? And then that's not a bad character. That's actually a great player because I wanted to explore the limitations and the complexities of Insert's character. But I don't see them moving forward with this because their story is over and they wouldn't be here. And I don't want to be disruptive to the flow of the story. I'm replacing my wizard with a barbarian now, or whatever the situation is.
Yeah, because you don't want to just force it. I completely get that.
That's dope.
And once again, that does go back to what we were saying about creating a two-dimensional character. When you were saying about, it's fine to play the lone wolf, but give them growth. Give them character development. If you're playing them exactly the same time at session 89 as you did in session 1, that's just a bad character.
There's no growth. Like, I mean, look, I'm gonna piss off an entire community right here. And I'm sorry. Mi patria. Perdón. Goku is a shit character.
Oh God, bro! Did your mom hear you say that?
No. my mommy does not understand the world. She thinks that Naruto is Dragon Ball Z.
Oh. Okay.
Every anime is Dragon Ball Z. I am a Saint Seiya fan, primarily not a Dragon Ball Z fan. Vegeta is a great character. Piccolo is a great character. Goku has very zero growth, if any, that I see. And everyone in the comments, this is how you start a war.
Good job.
And everyone in the comments is gonna comment, and now we're gonna have views.
I feel like more people actually agree with you. And now if you had said this about Vegeta, there would be a lot of
If I didn't say anything about Vegeta.
If you were shit-talking Vegeta,
no.
I think this would get banned.
With my Super Saiyan God Vegeta figure over there.
That's fallen on its face.
That's fallen on his face.
It looks like it's doing a handstand.
He's like, right now he's breakdancing.
Insert image of it right there.
Yeah, I need to. So, yes. If your character starts out with one way and never moves at all, doesn't learn anything, then yeah, that's kind of a bad character. You for that, I think having clear goals. I want to achieve something. That's a good character. A character who doesn't want to achieve anything, it's for these purposes considered a bad character. If your only goal is to just sit at the table, roll dice, and drink a beer with your friends, and then just listen to the story your dungeon master has created or is following through in a module, then no one has created a bad character. You're all playing the game as intended on your table. That's the caveat. I'm saying that the majority of people who want to be like, we're not getting out of this game what we intended because we're putting in some effort and some building and whatnot.
And we're also doing this, like I said, through the lens of a very high roleplay game.
Yes.
That is the lens of that we're looking through right now. We're not looking at other styles, but we're looking at high roleplay, how to create a good character, etc.
And with the idea of no growth, edgelords, I will say that I think the worst character trait comes from the person who is the I don't even know what to call him, but the person who like causes triggers, like the person who like intentionally pushes buttons. That to me is the worst role player ever. Who like
an antagonizer.
Yeah, like I know you don't like practical jokes, so I'm gonna put a practical joke IRL. I know I don't know, like you don't like bugs because it's a really easy one. So my character, it specifically casts insect plague all the time, and they're like an insect druid. Like why have that? You know, we did talk, we have a video previously about session 0 and having those discussions there. If you have, I'm assuming that you guys have had that. That would be like the bad character, the bad player, like the person who just pushes those buttons, causes those triggers. That's the person that immediately kicked them out for sure. Like,
going by, but what you were saying though, like if there's a certain character, not everybody collabs their characters, etc. Because you want a surprise, you know. there's a character that's like afraid of insects, and you just happen to make like a swarm ranger, you know?
Yeah.
We're not saying that's bad or anything. In fact, that actually does lead to some really good roleplay, in my opinion, to where it does lead to growth.
Yes.
Two characters learning how to coexist, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So we're not saying like, great, their character's afraid of bugs, I have to make a whole new character.
Yeah, for sure.
We're not saying that.
And
We're just saying if your character constantly was sticking their swarm on that character, that's antagonistic.
yes, and like you can flavor like 2 examples specifically on that. Like we have had a swarm ranger, but his swarms are fairies. Dope concept. And like in our game, we specifically have a person who is in direct contrast to a phobia for another person, and we just skip a transformation because of said phobia, because we're not going to trigger that. And that is a discussion that we've had, that it's just like, we're not telling you no, we've had the discussion where our limits are, and as good players and good character, we're going to move forward from said points. But Grace, do you have any tips for being a good, for just being a good character, just being a good person?
I think we've gone over quite a lot of them, to be honest.
I think so too. I think
I don't want to beat a dead horse, but which in his games, no horses die.
Yes.
All of our horses always survive.
Here's a tip. Here's a great tip. All your animals are magical items now. They don't get hurt. They just don't.
They run away.
Yeah.
I do the same thing in my games though. I'm like, your horse doesn't die, it runs away, and no, you can't roll survival to find it. It's gone.
It's just, they're just fine.
You get the punishment of losing the animal because you were irresponsible, but I'm not killing it.
Yeah. But that's so unrealistic. So is a dragon being able to fly.
Or speak.
Yeah. Eric Crocker being able to speak common is not a thing. It's like, it shouldn't be. Look, you have fire elementals. Yeah, your horse is fine. I don't care. It's fine.
We get sidetracked, guys.
So to recap, good characters collaborate. They are part of the story. They want to help out. They get jiggy with it. Bad characters do not get jiggy with it. They are antagonistic. They do not cooperate. They don't help out and reach other people. I know it's very oversimplified to say that.
It is, because we're not saying you have to play a lawful good character.
Yeah, but it's in hindsight, and like, it just sounds like, well, no shit, like video over. But it is a little baffling to have to explain in a 20-30 minute video that just to be a good character, to be a good role player, all you have to do is have a little bit of empathy. Don't be a jerk, and just listen to the story and other people, and be invested in the game that you're actually playing. If you want to be a good character, a good player in your game, care about your game and care about the people in front of you. And that's all the work will be done for you just by caring and being patient and being good.
Yeah. No arguments there.
Yeah. But with that, please follow our links. All the information is down below. Go watch our live play. Please subscribe, comment, do all those things. And yeah, just be kind and take care of one another. All that jazz.
Thanks again for watching, you guys. And this is Hot Girl Crit signing out. Bye, guys.
Adios. Bye.